All right. All right. Good evening, saints and friends. How y'all doing? So check this out, right? So this week has been a pretty interesting week for me, man, as I kind of prepare a little bit to like go back to work. I've been off about like 2 weeks. So I've just been out and about and just lifing, right? And then yeah, I kind of had like an epiphany about certain things, man. And it's so funny, man. I kind of learned that there are some things during this journey that's gonna come up that you had no idea that had an effect on you. Let's talk about it. All right, all right. Bless God in the building. How y'all doing on this good old quartet evening? Yes, yes, yes. I am wearing this Be Your Version of Dope shirt once again. Yes, I am. Guess what? I'm just reminding myself how dope I am. I want you to remind yourself how dope you are. So if I have to wear this 4,000 times to make sure, guess what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear it, man. Welcome to Conversations with Terrence. I am your word sayer, Terrence, coming to you live from my beautiful edifice. Again, what you guys up to? How was your week? I know my week has been cool. It's been pretty interesting. It's been quiet. I haven't really said much of anything during this week. But I was able to like really do like a lot of thinking and like reflecting on this journey of unlearning. I think we're almost ready to kind of wrap this up a little bit and then move on to something else. I think we're almost there, but I am committed to however long it takes to have these conversations. So give me a quick second. I just want to see what I got to do to make sure that you guys know that I'm on this joint. I gotta kind of figure out how to do that. I always be forgetting, man. I always be forgetting how to do this. Oh yeah, found it. Okay, got it. Hold on. Let me make this quiet because I don't want no. Yeah. Wait a minute. I don't know how to do it. Okay, here we go. There we go. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. So I'm finna do it. Oh, I said finna. That's so Atlanta, man. Not finna. All right. So right now. There we go. Perfect. All right. So I let a few of you guys know that I was on. All right. Perfect. It says cannot post. What? Give me a second. What happened? Man. All right. Whatever. I don't know what I just did wrong, y'all. Whatever. It is what it is. If you find me, find me. If you watching, go ahead and oh no. It says it's I don't know what's going on with this, y'all. I'm sorry. I just wasted about what? A minute of your time. I'm sorry about wasting your time. I promise never to bastardize your time, and guess what? I just did it. My bad, y'all. My bad. So anyway, so I had the opportunity. Yeah, I forgot to add that to my thing. So I had the opportunity this week to just like really sit still, be quiet, and just like still kind of dig a little bit into this journey of unlearning. And then like there's some things that actually came up for me that I had no idea that I was dealing with. So now like I had the epiphany that I was dealing with uh uh being what is that called? Having social anxiety, right? Has social anxiety. Boom. It is what it is. But then This week I realized that I deal with abandonment issues, which is crazy to me because once you think about abandonment, right? You think about like a parent, like, something like siblings, something like that, something like a family type situation where you felt abandoned in certain ways, right? But my abandonment, okay, so I might get a little transparent, a little more transparent, but I would never ever say anybody's name. I won't do that because it is what it is. I'm not. That's not what I'm about though. So it's like when it comes to like relationships, right? And you guys know if you've been rocking with me for a little bit, you know that I actually struggle with cultivating relationships, right? But it's like a oxymoron though. It's like I have abandonment issues when it comes to relationships, and that's probably why I struggle with relationships too, because I felt like I would always give more into a relationship. I'm not even talking about nothing romantic or anything. I'm just talking about relationships, period, right? That I would always give more into a thing than I would get out. And that would create like a level of abandonment for me. Like, so if I like needed something or if I needed someone, it was like I can count on one hand how many times there were people that were like literally there for me, the way that I was for them, right? And that created like, and I sat there and like thought about it. I was like, whoa, that created like abandonment issues for me. I felt abandoned by certain people because they never showed up the way I showed up for them. And the craziest part about that is, um, a lot of that has to do with us thinking that everybody is a you, right? We all do that. We all like think that people should react and act the way that we do because the birds of a feather flock together, right? So this is how I am. This is how I show my love. This is how I do this, do that, right? And then I'm assuming. As soon as I say assuming, I think about the dude who talk about being ahead of the sexuals. Ahead of the sexuals. Yeah, Meek, I changed my mind. I changed my mind and showed up. Um, I gotta keep my word to myself, man. And it's kind of hard sometimes when you just not really feeling it. I'm just being transparent. I wasn't feeling it tonight, y'all. Really wasn't. Really wasn't feeling it. Um, just being honest. And it's not that there was something like wrong or anything. I was just like, I don't think I have anything to say. But once I started reflecting, like I was back here doing some like music stuff, but once I started reflecting on like my thoughts over the week, I was just like, oh shoot, word. Okay. So you can talk about that because maybe people are dealing with things that they don't realize that they're dealing with, right? So, and the thing about it is, though, it's just like literally being honest and transparent with yourself because we can start feeling a way and not necessarily realize why, right? And because a lot of us aren't like honest enough to like really, really, really dig deep, like really dig deep into what we're actually feeling and what's causing what we're feeling, right? So I was just like, I was feeling away sometime this week, and I was just trying to figure out what the heck it was. And I know one thing is something that I'm mourning right now, right? And that's something I would never talk about because that's really, really personal. It's something that I'm mourning right now, but there's this something even deeper too. And I was just like, wait a minute, bruh, th- how do you have an abandonment issue when both of your parents were always there? Like both of your parents, I never knew a time when I didn't have my mother and my father until my mom died. So wow, okay, we can probably unpack that because that's probably where my abandonment issue started. Now, it's not like she was just like, all right, I'm gonna die, just keep it moving, right? No, she ain't do that on purpose. But it's just like at that time I was young. I was 17. Like I was still a kid, right? I was grateful to have her for 17 years because there's kids that are like really, really young that parents are just gone, right? But I'm grateful I had her 17 years. But in this grand scheme of things, that is still extremely young to lose a parent, right? So I think that's where, wow, the more we talk, the more I unpack that. That's where I believe my quote unquote abandonment issue started because I feel like I wasn't ready to not have like a mom because like yo, I'm still like I'm a 17-year-old kid. I'm still growing. I'm growing up. Yeah, I'm almost out of high school and everything, but technically you still a kid. A 17-year-old kid is completely different than a 17-year-old boy is completely different than a 17-year-old girl. I want y'all to know that now. I want y'all to know that just because we the same age, that don't mean mentally we in the same space. It just doesn't work that way. But I think I didn't have my abandonment issues wasn't towards like my mom or anything like that. I think my abandonment issue started and my abandonment was towards God, and nobody don't want to talk about that. Everybody want to talk all of that. They want to talk about that, right? Everybody want to just skip over natural feelings. Nah, dog, I'm not skipping over. Oh, why is this not tight? Okay, so I'm sorry. So, like, why do we have to skip over what we feel naturally and always talk about like the spiritual being? Because we are just as much a natural being as we are a spiritual being, right? So our feelings are real, our feelings are true, and we cannot ignore that, right? And I've never, I don't think I've ever properly grieved over the death of both of my parents. I don't think I ever did, nor my oldest brother, right? So what happens is the more that I'm talking about it right now, the more I started feeling I can actually be honest and say my abandonment issues was it was towards God. I was just like, yo, like how is this okay? Like how is this okay? It's like, yo, like you're right, Meek. I was a mama's boy, and I was young with both of my parents. If you're right, because I'm gonna get to that too. I'm definitely gonna get to that. And so I was just like, yo, this is crazy. It's like, how? Like, how is this even possible? I'm a kid in high school. Like, how is my mother gone? I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense. It does. Wow. So that started my abandonment issues. Wow. That's crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I said that already, but just this epiphany that's playing over and over in my head is very, very interesting. It's very interesting because it's like, I'm sorry, like we're talking about this. I'm literally talking about this for the first time. I don't ever talk about this, right? So just help me navigate through this for a second. So, like I said, I felt abandoned because it was like two of the only people that really, really was there and all that other stuff now is gone. And then I felt like God abandoned my dad as well because like that's the first time in my life I've ever seen my father cry. Never seen my father cry before, ever. So the crazy part about it is I'm not talking about at the funeral. People die, you're going to cry at the funeral, all that other stuff, right? It's doing all this quartet singing. They always sing about death anyway. So this is brand new. There ain't nothing new about that. But I remember a time because at that time I was the only kid at home. I was the only child at home. So it was just me and my dad. And then like one day I'm on my way to school and then walking by my father's room and I just hear him sobbing. Yo, that broke my heart. That broke my spirit because my father is the manliest man on earth, the toughest dude on earth. You could never get over on this dude. He will pull a blade out and cut you at any moment. He was just one of those type of dudes. Like my father was a gangster. He was a church. He was. I knew the church dude, but before that, my father was a gangster. They called him Blade, and I thought they called him Blade because he used to dress like Sharp in the 60s. Nah, nope. They called him Blade because he was cutting up people in South Carolina, cutting up people in Norwalk, Connecticut. Like my father used to hang around. If there's anybody that's listening that's from Bridgeport, Connecticut, right? If you know about the East End, if you know about Fifth Ave and all this other stuff, man, back in the 80s, well, still to this day probably, there were some unsavory characters that would hang around these certain little juke joint type spots, right? And then my father used to hang out with those dudes, right? And then I was just like, I never really thought nothing of it. I was like, wait a minute, is my father one of those type of cats? And I was young. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I can remember that because him and my mother used to go out, play cards all weekend, which is crazy. Do people still do that? Do people still go hang out with their friends and go play cards all night, all day long, and gamble and all that. My parents, they did all of that stuff. They did all of that. So I remember my father drinking beer and all of that. And then all of a sudden, all of that stopped. Then he was just like this church dude. Like, I don't know what happened. It's like he was just this church dude. But he was always this tough, rough, manly dude, right? And then for me to see that man like hearing him cry, and just seeing him in like this crazy vulnerable place, it literally broke my spirit because I'm feeling abandoned for me. But then I'm like, yo, God, how you gonna abandon this dude? Because I saw my father take care of my mother when she was sick. Like that entire time she was sick, I saw my father take care of my mother. I've never seen anything like that before. That was like the craziest. That was crazy to me. He was always there. He was never not there. He was always there making sure my mom was good and all of that until her last breath. Like they did that till death do you part type joint. And then I was like, yo, and then they had, they had their relationship that, they argued a lot. That's what they did. But they also had as many arguments. Those cats had a whole lot of fun, laughing, joking, calling each other all types of crazy nicknames. And if you know me personally, I'll be calling people whatever comes to my mind. I get that from my father because he used to call everybody a wino. Everybody. My father called everybody a wino. So your name, no matter what your name is, he ain't gonna call you that. He gonna call you something slick because that's just the way it is. But it's like, so me being that 17-year-old kid, watching my dad go through these changes, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So now that we're like having this conversation, I'm really realizing that that is literally the start of his abandonment, of my abandonment issues, which is crazy. So then, boom, we gonna fast forward a little bit. So my dad ended up getting remarried. They was married for like 35, 36 years or something like that. So my father he don't know how to be alone. He ain't never been alone. So my dad ended up getting remarried and all this other stuff, right? Of course I felt a little way about that because I didn't understand. Like now being a grown adult with the gray hair right here. I cut the gray hair out of my nostrils today because that was crazy. They was coming out my nose like this. They was like, hey, how's it going? So I cut them joints today. But, grown man, getting this little gray patch like my father had. He had that too. So now that I'm a grown man, I understand. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get what he was going through. I get everything. But here we go, abandonment. So my dad, he dies 3 years later. Crazy, right? And the way he died was he was in church. He was in church singing a song. In the middle of singing a song, bro. In the middle of singing a song, and he dies in church. He was like, he countryed in the mud too. He used to be like, I want to go out singing. And that's what happened. He went out singing. Like singing quartet. Singing that. So, all right. So, I'm sorry, I was trying to go to my little piece of notes right here. But anyway, I can't say that's neither here nor there. But getting back to the story, right? So my dad dies 3 years later, right? And then what I felt was I felt really bad for his wife. She only had him for like 2 years, probably. Yeah, for about like 2 years. And then boom. That was it. And then those abandonment issues came back up again because I was like, yo, I'm growing into becoming a man, right? And this is the guy that's literally showing me the way. I'm older now. I'm a lot more receptive because when I was at a certain age, I think I was like at the beginning of being 17 or something like that. I think it was like 16. I knew everything that there was to know about everything on planets. So if you have teenagers that are around 16, 17 years old, they know everything. They know everything on Earth. Just let them go through that stage. I went through that stage, and if you're honest, you went through that stage too. So, like, that's the only time I had technically, quote-unquote, beef with my dad is when I thought I knew everything. But that only lasted for a couple of months. My father just sat back and was like, all right, yo, you'll see. You'll see. My father just sat back and just like, yo, you'll see. And then I saw. I didn't know everything. so now like so in this time frame, I'm just like, yo, I'm feeling abandoned again because and once they died, you were in the world pretty much by yourself. Yeah, I was. You right, meat. You right. I'm about to get to that too. So being excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. This time of year, my allergies act crazy. So being at that time frame, I'm transitioning from like a teen to a man. So I was 20 years old, right? When my dad died. So like literally that wasn't even I had just broke into my 20s, like just broke there. And so I'm still like learning and trying to figure things out. Hey, Cherry, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm still learning things, and I'm just looking to this guy who in my eyes is one of the most perfect men on the planet, because it's like I could see no wrong in my father, even though I knew that he wasn't perfect, because there's no such thing as being perfect. But just to see that this was a guy who always hustled, made sure his family was good. I remember as a kid, like we lived in Bridgeport, and they worked at Buck Spumoni, which was an ice cream shop. Both of them, they worked there. They made ice cream for a living. So I had the dopest childhood. I always had ice cream in my freezer, bruh. All of you poor kids who couldn't get ice cream. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. No, but I literally did always have ice cream, like all the time. So by car from Bridgeport to Milford. Milford is where they worked, right? By car, that's a 15, 20-minute drive, right? I remember there was a couple of times that our car broke down, and my father would walk to work. That 20-minute car drive was about like an hour and a half, maybe 2.5 hour walk to work. Dark. Like dark in the morning, like crazy. My father was that type of dude. Like and that's where I get it from. Like I don't care how tired I am. If I gotta go hustle, make sure my family good, that's what I'm gonna do. If I gotta make sure that you good, that's what I'm gonna do. I get it from him because he was just that type of guy. So I had a perfect example of what a man is and what a man does, right? And then the crazy part about it is now I'm becoming of that age of like, okay, being a man, and then boom, I don't have that at the pivotal time that I need it. Again, I feel abandoned again. You know what I'm saying? And then from that moment of feeling abandoned, I was like, bruh. And I'm like the guy, like, yo, so you put me in this position once again, not too long ago, 3 years to be exact. And then not just me, now my stepmother, like you abandoned her. She only had this dude for like 2 years. She was only able to enjoy him as her husband for 2 years. I appreciated her because my father couldn't dress worth a daggone. he still thought like a frilly lace cravats and cover buns was dope. Like my father was wearing that in the 90s. My father wore church shoes. Oh, hold on, y'all. My bad. My father wore church shoes with shorts. Do you understand that? Like, he wore church shoes with shorts, bruh. He wore church shoes with windbreakers. Like, if you are from a certain age, you know what windbreakers are. If you brand new, you don't know what that is. He wore church shoes, and he used to wear white church shoes. Yeah. Yeah. So she leveled his dress game up like tremendously. After they got married, my father ain't never wear none of that foolishness ever again. My father wore sneakers. He wore like stuff that would go with like windbreakers. Like my father was chilling after he got with her. Like that was her project. She made sure that he looked all right. And I think that's where I get not being able to dress from too. But I have sense enough to know that black, you can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. He said, why they all had the white shoes with the white belt? Yo, my father had the white shoes, white belt, a cummerbund, a frilly lace cravat shirt with with a bow tie, like for no reason, like for no apparent reason. I'm like, yo, dog, what are you doing? Yo, yo, now that I think about that, oh man, I'm so grateful for my stepmother. Hey May, how you doing? I'm gonna end up sending this to her. I'm so grateful for my stepmother because she leveled my father dress game up like crazy. So anyway, so I was at the place where I was like, all right, so God, what's up with that? Why you hit me up with all of these situations, and now I'm feeling abandoned? And I didn't think of it as abandonment at the time until this week when I'm just like in my thoughts. I'm in my thoughts this week, and I'm just like going back, playing back my life. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I have abandonment issues because of this, and this. And then that spilled over to like relationships with people where like I started this, is like I'm pouring a lot into cats, not getting that in return. Now I'm not saying I was just doing stuff just to get things back in return. No, that's not what I'm saying. But once you feel like, yo, I need you, I'm reaching out to you, and you don't get what you've put out reciprocated, if it's not reciprocated, yeah, man, that hurts. And it creates abandonment issues. Hey, what's going on, Amisha? How you doing? I had long time no see. So that created issues for me, abandonment issues for me. And then so like now this week, I'm kind of like working through that, which is it's brave to even say, to be honest with you guys. It's kind of brave to say. So, and it's like, I was in my feelings, okay? Because I'm human. It is what it is. Just being honest about that, right? So I was in my feelings, and then I was being super honest and transparent with myself to figure out what the root of that was. And I found that the root of that was having abandonment issues. That's crazy to me. There's certain things that I feel like I need. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Excuse me. So the crazy part about that is I was able to be really honest and transparent with myself this week and literally sit back and be like, okay, what exactly is going on with you? What exactly are you feeling? What sparked this feeling? Okay, now that you have this feeling, what is going on with that? Where did this come from? And it's not until like I figured out, okay, boom, this feels like abandonment, right? Boom. Once I figured that out, but I didn't really get to the root of it until I started talking to y'all. So my abandonment issues started once my mom died when I was 17. And then it continued 3 years later when my dad died when I was 20. And these were all formative years for me of my growth as a man, as an adult. So, man, I'm telling y'all, man, this has been crazy, y'all. But, hey, we figuring it out together. I thank you guys for being my therapist. All right. So, I promise you, I am literally not going to be up here an hour tonight. I'm actually almost done. Like I said before at the beginning of this, I didn't want to do this tonight. I was like, I don't have anything like to say, right? And yeah, I always got something to say. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here though. But and the funny part about it is once you dig into whatever it is, right? Once you dig into whatever it is that you're feeling, then you got to just say, wait a minute. Is this learned behavior? Because a lot of things we figure out is learned behavior. Okay, Cherry said, that's crazy. I'm reading this book called The Setback Cycle. Defining moments can move us forward, by Amy. Okay, all right, word. I'm gonna come back and read that. And then I'm just gonna drop that book into my little archives of books. I'm gonna check that out because that sounds like it's gonna be a really really good read, right? And so like I was saying, the behavior or is passed down to us via the environment that we are in, right? So I didn't grow up in an environment where there was quote unquote abandonment, but there have been people who well, I haven't. There's been people that have grown into that situation. I know plenty of people whose parents weren't there. Parents was on drugs. I grew up in I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, man. Most of my family, not my family, most of my friends, their family. I grew up in the crack era, man. Most of their moms, was on drugs. Pops was in jail. Pops was just in and out of jail. Pops was on drugs. Uncle was on drugs. Like that was the height of the crack era, and going in from like the mid 80s into the 90s and stuff like that. So I saw my friends that literally had those type of issues going on. A lot of their issues were passed down because of the environment that we in. I was just super blessed to have the type of parents that I had that was like, yeah, this is the environment that we live in, but this is not the way we gonna rock. We're not gonna do any of that. And like, so it was pretty cool, man. Just to see, just like really go back into like my thoughts of the environment that I grew in. Even though I grew up in a crazy environment, right? My parents created something within our house that didn't reflect where we lived. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to grow up in a house that don't reflect their environment. Man, so wow, that was amazing. I am super grateful for that. So even though I felt abandoned, but my parents did instill so much into me at an early age that I was able to take care of myself at an early age. Listen, therapy was wrecked me this week. Okay, I recognize it that we spend the first half of our life collecting trauma. Yes. And the second half dealing with and processing it. That is so crazy because along the way we collect so much, like you are so right, Amisha, we collect so much trauma. Like even like after my parents died, like I went through a whole bunch of crap that I did not go to, that I didn't need to go through. I didn't need to go through a whole bunch of that crap, right? So Mika said, once they die, right? I'm going back to that comment, right? You were in a world pretty much by yourself, which was crazy because I'm a brand new, I'm brand new into manhood, right? And the guidance, I didn't have that guidance that I really, really desired. Okay, yeah, I was at church and all that other stuff, but outside of church and me playing, I don't really interact with the people like that. So I'm living life, navigating through this world all by myself. My brother and my sister, they grown, they doing their own thing, all of this other stuff, and it's like I'm trying to figure life out by myself, which ended up putting me in a situation where I ended up getting married at 20 years old, y'all. Bruh. Nothing about my ex-wife. She cool in a mug, man. She cool in a mug. But I was too young. Fresh off of the death of my father, still dealing with the abandonment from my mother, from my mother's passing and all of the other crazy stuff that I was going through at the time. And then I didn't have the people around me to be like, hey, hold on for a quick second. You need to wait because you're not in a position to take care of a family right now. You're not in a position, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this is how a man got to navigate, and I didn't have that. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. So I ended up going through a whole bunch of crazy trauma all through my life. Like Amisha said, I collected a lot of trauma that I'm still dealing with to this day, y'all. And now, being honest, it is what it is. It is. I don't care. I don't care at this point. I'm dealing with this, and I'm navigating through this. We all navigating through some stuff right now. It says, I was just about to say that. The abandonment is what led to marrying so young. Yeah, you're right. That's what it was. Now, I felt like, and then the crazy part about it is, when I got married, the woman that I married was much older than me. So could it be that I was trying to marry a mother figure? I don't know. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying anything negative because that's not what this is all about. Not saying anything negative about her. She's an excellent woman, excellent mother to all of my grown kids. She has all of my grown kids. Like, excellent woman. I cannot stress that enough. Excellent woman. And like I always tell people, the demise of that marriage was my inability to have proper conflict resolution skills. So I promise you, she's an excellent person. I would never paint a crazy picture. It was because I did not have the proper conflict resolution skills. And let's be honest, we were separated for 3 years before we actually got divorced. She still wanted to be with me. I just didn't have the proper skills. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't have the proper skills. So it's like, she was like, how long? I'm not waiting out. I'm not waiting forever for you. I'm moving on. And I don't blame her. She moved on. And that's what you're supposed to do. Don't be waiting for people to make up their mind what they want to do. Nah. Y'all got people sitting here dangling y'all on the string. Keep it pushing. I don't care. You keep it moving. Time waits for no man. And don't let no man, don't let no woman waste your time. Period. So when we got divorced, I'm going to get back to what we were talking about. This is funny, right? So when we got divorced, we was walking out of the courtroom holding hands, like swinging, laughing. And people was like, did y'all just get divorced? We was like, yeah. There was no beef. All right, that's enough of that. But yeah, so getting back to that, I believe to this day that the abandonment issues that I had and the trauma that I had led to me getting married at a super young age. But at the same time, we don't know. Oh, we don't know what lack was. Okay, my father was a hustler. He worked as director at the hospital and owned a few businesses. And I have 8 brothers and sisters. Jesus Christ. Was all of y'all living in the same house? Yeah, that's a whole different segment. You're right. Look, Cherry, real quick. Did all of y'all live in the same house at the same time? How does that work? Huh. All right, so Cherry said, I'm from a 2-family house. My parents been married 63 years. Wow. Yeah, of course 8 kids are going to come out of 63 years. But let me tell you, you can still feel abandoned living with a house full of people. Well, obviously, if it's 80 y'all, yes, of course, somebody's going to feel like they don't matter in that house. I'm not laughing at your pain, Cherry. I'm not laughing at your pain, but I'm just laughing like this. That's a lot of people. Where did y'all sleep? Yeah, right, Amisha. She said crowded over there, Cherry. Yeah, where did y'all sleep? Was it like the 5 heartbeats where there was like 3 people in the bed, somebody's feet was like close to their face? How did that work? Because I do remember sleeping in the bed with my brother. He hated it. Oh my God, he had this little kid, and I'm like one of those cats who just like be cuddling and stuff like that. Yeah, but they don't. Meek. Sire does have 8 brothers and sisters, but they don't all live in the same house. Sire has 5. Sire has 6 grown siblings. They are grown. No, you're right though. You do right. You're right, Sherry. Abandonment does come in all levels, and you are correct. Misha said, "Oh, y'all, wow." Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I was supposed to be out of here by now. All right, that's cool. It is what it is. But yeah, man. So abandonment is real, y'all. I don't know how we got stuck on abandonment, but it's real. It's so real. I had no idea that I was dealing with that until I was feeling away this week. And once I realized that I was feeling away, I was like, bro, all right, what's the root of this? And it's all because it started with abandonment. It started with abandonment when I was 17. And that was like, how old am I? So that was like 27 years ago, y'all. 27 years ago. That's crazy. Wow, 27. Wow, telling y'all, well, I don't care how old I am. I'm 44. I'm about to be 45 in a couple of months. I don't care. It is what it is. There's people that don't make it to this age. I'm good with that. So, so 27 years ago, man. Like, wow, man, that's crazy. Amisha said, oh, so they having this whole conversation in this chat, y'all. This is wonderful. I love that. I love that. I love this village because we interact with each other. We talk to each other, man. Talk to each other. I love that. I love the village that we have. I love the village that we build it. So just so you guys, once you guys replay this, just look at the live comments. You guys see the family that's in here. Everybody's just talking to each other, having conversations with each other, and that's what this is about, y'all. This is about family, building this family. Sorry, y'all. This village of family together. We have conversations together. 27 years. Imagine how much life was altered. That one thing abandonment. Yo, Amisha, listen. I was actually gonna go to what do you call that? I was gonna go to the military, but it was supposed to be the Marines. That's where I was supposed to go, right? Imagine me a Marine. I'm glad life took its turn, man. So I was on a trajectory to go into the Marines. I was just like, you know what? Because I didn't have a plan for school. I was like, I couldn't see myself sitting in somebody's classroom because I hated school. I felt like I went to school with children. I didn't really connect with I didn't really connect with kids my age, right? The only cast that I actually connected with was like Chip, Ira, Kisan, the three guys right there. But other than that, I didn't feel like I connected with these cats. So then I was like, all right, bet. So I'm gonna end up, going to go ahead and go into the military, right? So then after my mom died, right? She died when I was in my junior year, and then after that, I was just like, I don't even feel like being bothered with the military, all of that other stuff. So then once I turned 18, I started dating the woman that I ended up marrying at 20. Yep. Yep. If you're thinking it, yes. So when I went down to the Marines office in Bridgeport, it was just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I got this girl here, and at that time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, hold on for a second. I'm trying to get this timeline correct. A little bit after that is when she got pregnant with TJ. A little bit after that is when she got. So I was a teenage father. All of that, y'all. Fill in the blanks. What blanks, me? No, I'm not. No, you said fill in the blanks. No. If the blanks mean like specifics, no, I will not give specifics. No. Getting married before 25. Yo, you know what? That'd be dope. I think that would be dope. You should not get married before 25. Right. You should not. Your brain is not fully developed. Oh, who you talking about? All right, never mind. Y'all have this whole conversation. I'm sorry. I'm in y'all business right now. My bad. No, so you said you didn't realize who's that close in age. Oh. Nah, I'm not trying to tell it all. You're right. You would have less divorce. No, I was saying for them, fill in the blanks on your story. Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. For everybody else to fill in the blanks in my story. Copy. Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry. See, I'm in here. I'm reading y'all. I'm in here reading y'all messages, not reading everything. So I'm technically not minding my business right now, which is okay. I'm okay with not minding my business. But still, so I ended up becoming a teen dad, right? And I don't suggest that for anybody. Not that that was that. Not that I just think you should have a certain level of maturity before you become somebody's husband, wife, um, and before you become somebody's dad. There should be a certain level of maturity there. You should have things in place before you take on a wife. You should have certain things in place before you have children. Uh. she said, "Y'all minding my business, so it's okay." I personally think that you should have certain things in place before you take on a family. I did not have that. I didn't have the proper mindset, and then on top of that, like I'm right there fresh, starting up my music career and all of this other stuff. So my mind wasn't really focused on the proper things. Fill in the blanks, y'all. My mind wasn't there. It wasn't there. So, but like I said, I think the abandonment sparked every event in my life from the infancy stages of my adulthood. Wow. That was amazing, y'all. That was amazing. Let's lean into abandonment, man. Like, I mean, just real quick, man. Like Sherry said, she was in a house full of people and still felt abandoned. Because now, let's be honest. Like, if all 9 of my kids lived in the same house, right? Somebody's gonna feel left out at some way, shape, or form. Somebody is. Somebody is. How can you, because that's like literally spreading yourself thin. I'm grateful that 6 of my kids are like adults. I'm grateful for that. Full of people. Yeah, your house is full of people, man. I ain't never lived with that many people ever in my life. These 5 people, wait a minute, is it 5? Yeah, these 5 people, no, 4 people outside of myself. It's at my house now, that's a lot. That's a lot. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. But like Cherry said, like there are so many levels to abandonment, man. So it's like I never thought that would be a part of my testimony of abandonment, right? Because like I said, I got my family. You know what I'm saying? I got my mother, my father. I didn't grow up with parents that was on drugs and parents that was abusive. I didn't grow up with none of that. My parents ain't never just leave me places and be gone for weeks on end. I never had that. You know, my parents, they was there. They was always there. I never had any of that. So I never thought that abandonment would be my portion until I really sat down and thought about it. And I was angry with God for a long time. For a very, very long time. And I don't know if other people will be honest about that. I'm going to be honest about that. I was very angry with God for a long time because of how my life was going at that time. How my life was going at that time. Like, I'm just like, bro, like, this is not fair. I felt that it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Like, at least let me get into my 30s or like, mid 30s before my parents are gone. Because at that time, I would have had all of the guidance as an adult that I needed to navigate life properly, right? Now I had to figure things out all by myself. I had to figure things out by myself. And that's a lot of people's story, that they have to figure out life by themselves. And we are cutting that out now by building this community where people don't have to figure out life by themselves. Okay, now we're at a certain age now. But yeah, let's go ahead and learn. Let's go ahead and grow together. Let's grow together. It's like, boom, this is what I went through. This is how I navigated through it. So now I have to figure out how to navigate, how to navigate through these feelings of abandonment. Right. Let's figure out how to navigate through these feelings of abandonment, right? And then I'm going to be honest with you. So for me, what helps me is reassurance. That's what helps me. Just like even without abandonment, reassurance is always good for me. However it is for you, right? Even if you got to reassure yourself. Like, David said, I encourage myself. Even if you got to encourage yourself, if you don't got nobody there to encourage you, if you don't got nobody there to reassure you, do it all yourself for now. Do it for yourself for now. But you got to have something that's going to help you navigate through these spaces that you're in right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Well, it's just ladies on here. I didn't see any dudes. Not unless somebody identifies as a dude on here. I don't know. 2024. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. You guys have given me 51 minutes of your time. I dare not bastardize your time. Thank you so much for letting me ramble on. Well, we technically didn't ramble, but thank you for letting me unpack my feelings of abandonment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Listen, time is the number one investment that you will never get a return on. And you guys gave me your time. Hold on, Tamika's saying something. What she said? Dudes are watching the replay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Dudes will be watching the replay. All right, my bad, fellas. I didn't want to, leave y'all completely out there. I'm just talking about the people that's on live, just having a whole conversation. I love this. You guys make me super happy. But again, you guys have a great night. Let's do this again Tuesday night, next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead live again from my beautiful, beautiful edifice. And if you guys aren't following me on social media, I would love for you guys to do so. So on TikTok right now, right, it's going to be Terrence Nelson again. It's going to be my first and last name, TerrenceNelson, and the word again. And the reason why it says again, because I had a Terrence page and I could not access it anymore, so I don't know what happened to it. And it's going to be the same thing on IG. So go ahead, go over to TikTok. TikTok is mainly filled with music stuff. With me playing bass or keys, and sometimes I'll put an excerpt from our lives up there. So you guys, yeah. So I always look. All right, so Cherry. So check this out, right? I always look around the edifice, right? Because I renamed this. This place used to be called the Lair, but I renamed it the Edifice because it's my sanctuary, right? And the word edifice I've only heard being used to describe a church building, right? Hey, I'm churchy, y'all. I only hear it to describe a church building. And when you think of a church, you think of a sanctuary, someplace that's sacred. And this is a very sacred space to me here. I don't really let anybody in here unless it's like Sire or something like that, and he'll be down here kicking it while I'm creating or something like that. I'm even when I start getting people to come sit in with me during these conversations, I'm going to be extremely selective because this is a sanctuary for me. This is literally, she said, I get it now, Bishop. This is holy ground. Hold on. You got to take your shoes off. This is holy ground. So this is my sanctuary. This is a place that represents peace to me. So that's why it is. So in church, whenever somebody come in, like a guest preacher come in, it was like, God bless the bishop and the first lady. And then he was like, God, put your hands together for this beautiful edifice that you guys have built. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's enough. Now Cherry got me in this preacher mode where I was about to close and she said something else. Yeah, yo, Amisha, please use bastardize your time, please, because people, I don't like that. I don't like people wasting my time, bro. And then people bastardize people's time constantly, and I'm not about to do that. So, and it is so funny. Real quick, this is the third time I'm talking about I'm closing, but this is very important for me, right? And this is why sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like going live. I don't feel like I have anything to say because I don't want to just talk, because I don't want to just waste anybody's time by just talking about just frivolous things and sitting here trying to figure out something profound to say. I feel like that's bastardizing your time. If I don't have anything valuable to say to you, you can go to any other platform and just get just frivolous nonsense. That's not what this is. And I will not bastardize your time. Anytime we have conversations, y'all, This is my fourth close, Doc. You're right. So anytime we have these conversations, it's going to be something that is going to be an exchange. You're going to walk away from it with something. I'm going to walk away with something. Hopefully, most of the time, it's going to be me walking away with something because I get epiphanies when I'm talking to y'all. All right. So, again, we closing for real, y'all. All right. So, you've given me 55 minutes of your time. Don't say nothing else in there, y'all. Don't say nothing else in this chat to spark anything. Man, time is the number one investment that you will never get a return on. And here go Cherry. Here you go. Right. It's crazy because I hate small talk as well. You know, it's so funny. Last time Amisha was on, she said small talk is the cousin of inauthenticity. I don't like small talk either. Man. All right, so small talk. I have to put the church finger up if your platform wasn't interesting. You're right. All right, so now, Meek, this is my fifth close. Thank Cherry. All right, time is the number one investment that you'll never get a return on. See you guys next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You gave me your time. I really appreciate you. Thank you.